I cannot talk about saving money. We've been paying our credit cards, investing, and giving back to God without acknowledging and even examining and reflect, what are my problems? That's number one, friends. But number two is this, is to live a contented life. You know, if you look at Hebrews 13 verse 5, I have 3 different versions of Hebrews 13 verse 5. But NIV would say, be content with what you have. Friends, the author did not say be content when you have these things. Nakakalito minsan pag binasa mo. But you again go back, you reflect, you meditate on this. Again, the author said in verse 5, be content with what you have. NLT would say, be satisfied with what you have. But I like the Message version. Ang ganda ng the Message version. Because the Message version would say, be relaxed. Mas type ko yun eh. Be relaxed with what you have. Again, I've said how to be content doesn't mean being content when you have more or even when you have less. Because some people saying, Coach, I will be content if actually I am able to, save this much. I'm able to buy these things. Okay. This is just temporary, but the truth is, the problem is not having more. The problem is actually deeper. Immanuel Kant, a German philosopher, said, give a man everything he wants. And at that moment, everything will not be everything. Because the issue is not what you have. The issue is not what you have now or what you don't have now. It is an attitude of the heart. Richard Swanson, from the book Contentment, The Secret to a Lasting Calm. And this is what he said, the heart becomes easily crowded. Whew! Totoo yun, ano? The pursuit of more. The pursuit of what is better, what is best, larger, the largest, newer, newest. Di ba ganun ho tayo? And we don't have no idea, how companies operate. Then even your friends would convince you, you need this thing to, you need to buy this and buy that. But minsan, you're just looking at the picture of the ads. Of course, they have studied us. They know how to convince us to buy the things we actually don't need or do not need yet, or we don't have money to be able to pay for those things. But we allowed our hearts to be easily crowded. And never more so than today. Under the reality of daily provision, our eyes see hundreds of things. To what? To tantalize the heart, not just the eyes. God does not need expensive tests to know the condition of our hearts. And if we love the wrong things, He gives us what we deserve, and that is discontent. We often feel our unhappiness comes from the misery of our surroundings, or even the presence of our problem. But instead, it comes from our hearts. The real cause of our discontent is not in our circumstances. He quoted J.I. Miller. If it were a change of circumstances might cure it, it is in ourselves. And wherever we go, we shall carry our discontent heart with us. And the only cure which will affect anything must be the curing of the fever of discontent in us. Rick Ezel, a pastor, said, contentment isn't a feeling of well-being, contingent on keeping circumstances under control. But instead, it promotes a joy in spite of circumstances, looking to God who never varies. Contentment is not based on external circumstances, but rather an internal source. Contentment is of the heart. And this command, okay, or a principle in Hebrews 13 verse 5 is being violated every single day. How? When we buy the things we don't actually need, we take on loans. Or probably because of envy, we buy things we don't need. This is being violated because there's a desire for more in spite or despite of what we already have. Again, we go to Amazon. We go to Amazon apps or store apps. And we buy things out of impulse. And we overextend ourselves financially. Somebody had said that many of us are suffering from contagious disease, if only. If only I had more money. If only I could make better grades. If only we own a nicer home. If only we had not made a bad investment. If only I had not come from such a bad background. If only she would have married an ideal man. If only our pastor were a stronger preacher. And then, if only my child were able to walk. If only we could have children. If only we didn't have children. If only the business could have succeeded. If only my husband had not died so young. If only I would have said no to drugs. If only they had given me a break. If only I had not had the accident. If only we could get back on our feet. If only he would ask me out. If only people would accept me as I am. If only my folks had not divorced. If only I had more friends. And the list is endless. Because friends, the real threat, or if not the greatest threat in our marriages, in our families, is overcommitment. We thought it will make us happy. We know how to rationalize things. Sale naman eh. Baka, now they're saying it's 70% off. Sayang. 70% off na ito. Baka mamaya after this, 20% na lang. And we have a way of justifying the need to buy something. And because we owe so much, we have many bills to pay, we need to earn another job. Our family takes a second place. Our faith takes a second place. We forgot the things that are so very important. I did not include this in the PowerPoint. I was actually studying last night. When I came across Matthew 16, verse 26, when Jesus made an interesting observation, when he said in Matthew 16, verse 26, NLT, what did he say? And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Is there anything worth more than your soul? Listen well. Jesus is painting for us a picture of a balance sheet. Because on one side of it is the asset column that he said, the whole world. And if you put what you have, your assets, okay, in the first column, okay, what do you have? Probably you would say, at least I have a house. I'm not saying do not buy a house. I'm not even saying that. In that first column, of asset column, at least I have a car, I have, a vacation plan for next year, after this year. Tatapos na yung COVID-19. I have plans to go to Europe. I have plans to go back to the Philippines and go to El Nido. Boracay. Hindi, no? Your career, your reputation, everything that you have, and you put that in the asset column. Everything that you have worked for your whole life to acquire, you put that in the first column, the asset column. But Jesus was saying, Matthew 16, verse 26, how about the other column, the lost column? Is there any entry where your soul is gaining much? Marami ka nga ng mga bagay nito. How about the soul? Matthew 16 verse 6, he was saying, there is a loss. Because we often neglect this one. Soul keeping. John Ortberg said, to lose, not in the PowerPoint, sorry. To lose my soul means I no longer have a healthy center that organizes and guides my life. He said, I'm a car without a steering wheel. It doesn't matter how fast I can go. Friends, it doesn't matter how fast you can go. How much you've earned. Because if you get your soul, neglect this one. He said, I'm a crash waiting to happen. Friends, I want to challenge you. The challenge of the myth of having more will make you happy. You need to question yourself and ask ourselves, does having more make people happy? Because if you just come across of the world's wealthiest people who experience letdown, even Solomon, the richest man during his time, said, Ecclesiastes 5 verse 10, he who loves money shall never have enough. Hindi ka talaga makukontento eh. The foolishness of thinking that wealth brings happiness. You know.
We hope you enjoyed and learned much from the message. If you want to continue the conversation, check below for further discussion questions. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video and our YouTube channel to your family and loved ones. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.